super excited about that. Though we go with the toss, follow the blocks, and Winters doesn't have to touch anyone, nor does anyone touch Barry. Continue to make some plays here for us as they go back to the run. No, that time the Packers O-linemen, they overpowered everyone down the corners on the outside. That should open it up in the flat, and Boston brings it in. Well, let's see what we can do now with that fresh set. As they go down the middle, Montgomery will pick up his second. Done a whole lot. As they go back out to their tight end, he's got an angle, and he gives them a lead. But Ford will do it. For a second straight week, we kick a field goal as time expires to get a win against the NFC North, continue our win streak. And after sneaking by half of the NFC North, we have seen ourselves stretch our win streak to 6, really building ourselves back from some early struggles this season. But it's all come down to this particular game. After at one point finding ourselves low here on the NFC South, we have started our climb up to second, still behind the Falcons, with them having one game over us, and today we meet them for the first time this season. A win would put us on top. Flipping again our early struggles, we had to fight through injuries and just kind of find our groove this year after we made a couple changes in the offseason. And we are mostly healthy right now, though we did suffer a practice injury, 2 practice injuries this week. Earl Stockton, he's really started to put together some good games of late, which was one of the challenges we presented him. And he was doing well. Unfortunately, we will be without him. He has a high ankle sprain. And we will be without Casey Palmer, the rookie interior pass rusher, as he had a shoulder strain this week. So with those injuries, that's going to provide Hartwell a chance to really get some real playing time. He has not had much of it this year because he's very much, first and foremost, a run stopper, right? Hodgins, he's the better pass coverage guy, and he's put together a really good year. We're also going to see Oliver, who was the UDFA last season, played really well. So he's going to get out there a little bit. As for the defensive line, well, we really don't have that much depth at that spot past Palmer. So it's really just going to be Castaneda and Stewart. If we have to rotate Jerome Sweat, he's going to get that opportunity to be a little bit of a pass rusher today. But offensively, we have Chuba Hubbard back for this game. Missed last week, though. I can't quite remember what the injury was for. Barry has filled in amazingly for him. And again, I still want to get those two going pretty evenly. Chuba Hubbard a little bit more in the receiving game, and we'll let Barry continue to pound the rock. And as for our opponents, we've gotten pretty used to them. Desmond Ridder, still their quarterback. He's up to an 81. Bijan Robinson, he's been at a 99, though they also have a really solid backup behind him if they need to rotate. Getting to the receiver spot, Drake London, he's progressed. He's up to an 86. They also have Jamison Davis, a second-year receiver who's at an 81. They signed Tutu Atwell, so we're going to see him probably play mostly in the slot, though they also have some pretty good backups behind them. As for tight end, 98 overall, Kyle Pitts. Again, not much behind, but Kyle Pitts, first and foremost, is one of their key guys. Their offense is built around Robinson and Pitts. But they need some time to make those plays develop. They got Taylor Decker, an 84 at left tackle, a 93 overall Lindstrom at right guard. Down the middle, they got Drew Dahlman, the Stanford man, an 80. On the right-hand side, younger player, third year, 79 overall in bracket. And then finishing off with Jake Matthews. He's regressed. He's in his 13th season, and he's a 79. Though they also have Evan Neal, who arguably should see some playing time. As for their defensive line, again, they got a couple options here for the left end. Zach Harrison, currently listed at their start at a 77, but they also have Cleveland Farrell, a 77. On the opposite side, Dorrance Armstrong, an 80, and down the middle, they got Terrence McCall, a rookie. And if I'm not mistaken, that was actually a rookie I had interest in. We just ended up not making the moves necessary to bring him in. As for backups for that spot, pretty good. They have Javon Hargrave, who's a 78 now, and Bilal Nichols, a 77. As for the outside linebackers, you got a name I know I'm going to butcher, so I'm just going to call him Arnold, an 82. Opposite side, you have Quincy Williams, an 80. And then down the middle, you got Cole Holcomb, always flying around making plays, though they also have Tranquil and Bernard, who could definitely see some playing time. Getting to their DBs, A.J. Terrell Jr., a 93. They have Jeff Okudah, an 82, and we'll probably see Desmond King in the slot. Free safety, Jesse Bates, 97, and then at strong, they got Grant Delpit, an 87. So this is a very strong Falcons team, though they've been on a losing streak. And it'll be up to us to continue our winning streak and continue the Falcons' losing streak. Though I'm sure they're hungry to get back in the win column and keep themselves top of the NFC South. So let's get into this monumental mid-season game. Let's get this one underway as we are in front of our home crowd. Murray will return this one, finding a lane down the middle, though not slipping through it. About a split second too late to get to that gap, but the offense will head out behind Bryce Young and a very healthy group. And at times this year, offenses looked nigh unstoppable, but in the last couple games have been a little bit lackluster. We start with Chuba Hubbard, picks us up 5. Apparently when you start a game handing the ball off to Chuba Hubbard, it's called a chart. That's just what it's going to be for now on. 2nd and 5, we go spread empty. Got a lot of underneath sitting routes. We look for the rookie in Boston, though he takes the big hit. Can't hold on to it. Delpit knocks it free. Normally, I would say Boston, at least of late, has been pretty sure-handed. Drops early to start his rookie year, but we'll continue to go his way. If we could get the ball out, Dorrance Armstrong gets there at the last possible second, and we're staring at a 3-and-out. And overall, a pretty hot start there for the Falcons defense. Gave up 5 and then nothing thereafter. Their offense, they head out for their first possession, and first play goes to none other than Robinson, and it is Tyler Edwards crashing down to get the stop. His play over the last couple games has definitely improved. Getting into the flow again, he is a rookie who we were pretty harsh on early on, as McCullough gets the sack. Both teams picking up 1 on their first possession, leaving the Falcons with 3rd and 18. And while I don't think that rookies really get comeback player of the year opportunity, McCullough, if they did, would very much be in the running for that. He's had a phenomenal season as he gets juked out in the backfield. They dump it off, but Hartman is there. Both teams start with a 3-and-out. And following a nice little return from Murray on the punt, we actually start our next drive in plus or close to plus territory. Maybe just take a look at the field. I can see just shy of midfield as we go back to Chuba Hubbard, another gain of 4. And maybe we start this drive going down the middle a couple times here before we look for our pass, or try to break it to the outside, though that is a fantastic pursuit angle there from Tranquil. Keeps it to just a gain of 2. Though I do feel like our offense typically pretty good with third downs less than 5 yards. Anything more than that, well, then that becomes a little bit more questionable. As we look to roll out here, got our tight end coming across. That is Callaway. Little stiff arm, though not going to get much. Young there to clean it up. And that is the Falcons Young, whose name also, or first name also starts with a B. So that's just fun. Look for a little bit of some play action off of it. Tight end gets bumped coming across. We still look to go his way, and Boston holds on to it that time. As a rookie, he has quickly become this team's top receiving target, though Faust and Bateman have also seen their play very much increase of late. As we got Faust to the outside, he holds on to it, only getting us down to the 4. Looked like a touchdown opportunity. Oh, the tackle came up clutch for the Falcons. 1st and goal at the 4. Looking for a run, and not gonna find the lane. It was there for about a split second. So it'll end up being a 2nd and goal following the no gain. 2 receivers spread to the left-hand side, 1 to the right. Under center is Young. With about 2 minutes left here in the quarter. Put it up for our tall receiver, though that one's not really put up, just put out. And then pretty quickly knocked away. 3rd and goal, still sitting here at the 4. We spread empty. And honestly, I would just like a nice simple in here from Bateman. That right side linebacker should shift with the bunch. One-on-one then. Squeeze it in, and just as we drew it up, Bateman gets another touchdown, and we strike first in this rather big rivalry game. And with 2 minutes left in the first, we make it 7-0, and now Falcons, can they respond? Their first drive also went 3 and out. They start with Robinson, who finds some space down the middle. Nice juke there, picking up 9. And honestly, both these offenses fairly similarly built. We have our main guy at running back, get him well involved as the blocks downfield open it up. Hartwell, can we get a good pursuit angle? Dive, misses, St. Just bumps him out at the 1. Bijan Robinson nearly went the distance. And that's where we just have to have so much better contained today. We need our edge rushers to come through as there comes Tyler Edwards with a great stop in the backfield. As mentioned last drive, he's really starting to catch his groove, and I am here for it. Spent a first-round pick on him as they go with the play action, and it's thrown right at a pair of defenders, easily knocked away. Though quite honestly, would have much rather see us get the pick there. 3rd and goal now. They go with the read option, and we bite on it. Ritter will scramble on in and level this game up. And play like that is just going to be so much easier when you got a guy like Robinson in the backfield. But this game all drawn up here as our offense heads back on out. As we start with a tight look here. Try to get it to Chuba Hubbard, who will have to bounce to the outside. Good juke. Try to get back to the outside. A solid start gain of 9. And that will end up carrying us to the end of the first quarter. So a pretty good start to this game. Very even battle. And that's what you love to see in a rivalry. Though, of course, what we would love to see even more is a win in that rivalry. We start the second quarter, 2nd and 1. Trip to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. As we'll just scramble out here, get this one to Boston, though not very much more after the catch. That was very much a play of Young just trying to keep himself clean. 1st and 10, double A-gap look here from the Falcons. We're going to run right at him with the halfback draw. Open it up, look for a cutback lane to the right-hand side. It was opening up, but just good flow from the backside. Though not trying to make it seem like that wasn't a good play for us, getting us up to the 46 here. Look for a little bit of some play action off of it. Make the safety choose what side he wants to go to. Look for the curl, though not enough time. Young not able to keep himself clean on that one. Also, the line not very much keeping him clean. 2nd and 10. We go back to Chuba, who finds a little bit of a gap down the middle. A short gain. So with a 3rd and 7 waiting here for us, just shy of midfield. Let's spread wide. Try to get the ball to Chuba Hubbard with some space. Halfback screen, blockers out in front, though they don't quite get all the blocks, though. Richards, another decleater. I'm sure Walker Little not too happy with the addition of Richards. He's kind of taken his spot on this team. 1st and 10, though, for us. Double A-gap look again. Get this one up for Boston. Great adjustment on that throw. It was a little bit, not say height was good, over the top of the linebackers, but a little bit too far downfield. Well, those two clearly have worked a lot on getting a good connection. Now, we're going to make another adjustment here. I want a slightly longer route here from Boston. Deep in, should draw in the safety, leave Chenault one-on-one. That's the look. Or look for a little pump fake and just scramble instead. Safe play there from Young, getting us down to the 10. And with that, how about we bring in Winters and Barry, the power back set here for 2nd and 1. Gonna motion out Winters, look for the stretch. Get some good blocks, find a lane. Down the middle, Barry not gonna truck through the safety, but down to the 2. Not too bad of a first play, nearly finding the touchdown. Now goal line set for both teams. As we go back to Barry, find the blocks, and powering in that time. Still through the safety. We retake our lead here at home. And the battle between these two teams continue. Lead, not exactly lead, but lead, then tied, lead. Hopefully we hold on to that lead here as they start with a great play from Hartwell. Slowed it down at the beginning, though. Robinson, he fought through, picking up an extra couple. And it's the little plays like that we've got to find a way to limit in this one. Yards after contact can come back to bite us. as it's an empty look here. Dump off to the outside. Bijan gets the catch. Not much after it. We'll end up bringing up a 3rd and 2. Bunch to the right-hand side. One lone receiver to the left. We look to bring the blitz, and it hits home. Grover Stewart gets the sack, and that will be a stop by the defense. Now that will provide us a prime opportunity here. Already up 7 now with possession. As we go back to Chuba Hubbard, he'll gain a couple. Play 1. By no means was it anything fancy, but sometimes you don't need fancy. Just start with something. We change up the look here. 2nd down. Got 2 tight ends to the right-hand side, 2 receivers to the left. As you look for the check down to Chuba, he stays in, shakes one, does not pick up a block there from Richards, but it's a heck of a play. Especially for one takes us to the 2-minute warning, but also is only like a 4 or 5 yard gain. A lot of work just went into it as we come out of the 2-minute warning here. 3rd and 3. We got 3 to the right-hand side, though. They've got a lot of guys to the outside, so instead, let's shake up the look here. Look for the stick concept, see what that left backer does. As he does cover, but not good enough. We find Bateman. Try to get the juke. Okay, well, we're not going to juke by Bateman very much, but it's a great play there on 3rd. Did I say juke by Bateman? The juke was by Bateman, but not by Bateman. You know what I mean. By Jesse Bates. 1st and 10. We go with the halfback draw. Getting by Holcomb, and a good shot comes in. I believe that was their B. Young. Will end up being another short gain there from Chuba. Leaving 2nd and 7. We got 2 spread either side. Faust downfield. Looks like it could be a decent option here if he gets in front of the face of the safety. Put it up for him, and, well, it's just a great play by Delpit. If we wanted to have a jump ball there, need that a little bit more on the backside. 3rd and 7, facing the double A gap look. Boston going towards that front left pylon. Got a couple routes underneath as well. As it will be open for Boston. They'll put up too tall for him. That time he needed it much lower. But sitting here in field goal range with time expiring in this first half, we will send out Ford. Go ahead and kick us to a 2-score lead, and he'll do just that. Now we just got to make sure that there are no end of first half shenanigans. As the Falcons come out, they're looking to get the ball downfield, looking for a throw somewhere. As Owe gets the hit, and St. Juice finally gets that diving swat. If you missed last week's game, he had a beautiful diving swat on the Packers tight end, though the ball still managed to then fall into the Packers' hands. Ended up being a 1st and goal for him. Very opposite here. But our defense does have the opportunity to get off the field once again. 40 seconds left here. They go down the middle to Robinson. He finds the lane. We'll get the stop with 2 timeouts remaining. After we take one here, we might find a field goal. We know that Ford could hit from around the 45. Well, we start this drive at the 36. 26 seconds left. Again, still having those 2 timeouts. As we look for Chuba Hubbard, get it out there to him. He's got space to the outside. We'll pick up the 1st down, sprinting out of bounds up at the 48. That's getting us rather close, about 7 yards away from range, still with our timeout. So we can look to take a shot downfield here if it opens up to the inside for Boston. But Delpit with a heck of a play there. Red Young's eyes from miles away. He gets the pick. And what's really unfortunate about that is Young could have just scrambled into range, set up the field goal, and we could have walked into halftime with a couple more points. Instead, it will be 17-7. Though we'll not let the bad ending there overshadow all the good that we did see from that first half. We didn't allow anything to Kyle Pitts. Drake London hasn't even been there. They got one big play to Bijan Robinson, but that has been about it. Offense, getting outside that one play, looking pretty solid. But as we look at our first game update, it is the Saints now looking to crawl ahead of the Buccaneers as they pull off the 30-24 win. Both teams now 4-8. Pretty much doing it for the rest of our division games here for updates. So we got the Broncos. They are up right now 21-10 over the Texans. Both teams trying to fight to get back to 500. As for the final update, we have a little bit southwest of there. Seahawks are up on the Cardinals 13-7. Neither one of really any of these teams doing all too much. Oh, that can't really be said about either of the teams we have here today. As we start our second half, Falcons do have the ball. They start down 10 and going back to Bijan Owe with a quick stop. Bijan broke off a gain of about 60 or so yards in the first half. Outside of that, he's sitting with about 20 yards in total for the remainder of his play as they have their guy downfield. Davis was wide open. And that's one that could come back to bite him. That should have been a huge play for him. Arguably, maybe even a touchdown type of play, depending on the speed and the after catch ability. As Bijan Robinson, he's going to pick up the first down, a gain of near 13. The delayed release on his route definitely aided in him finding a lot more space there. Linebacker a little slow to react, leaves them with a 1st and 10, up at now the 38. As they swing it back to the outside, Kyle Pitts' first catch. He takes a shot from Newsome. Now, of course, with us having Tyler Edwards at strong safety and a lot of the man coverages, it's been him and Pitts today, so he's done a pretty good job up to this point. They look for a stretch to the outside, and Bijan, that's where he's finding all his yards on the stretches. Gotta contain. That does now put him over 100. Well, let's just make sure we continue to cover those outside runs as they look for a read option here. Ritter turns it into a quarterback dive. He takes the shot from Edwards, but picks up the first. And I do have to say, I like the cadence in which they are calling that play. Not all too often, but when they do call it, it's worked out really well. Has them down to the red zone here as they look for a weak side throw, and Drake London shakes the tackle and is in. Falcons will draw it closer here, make it a field goal game. And after their slow start that first half, that was what they needed to get them going. Now our offense, as we hit the field, let's also make sure we continue to get going here, as we could have went deep downfield to Bates early on. Instead, we let that just take the defender ways away. Young scrambles up to the 45. So it seems very quickly he learned from his mistake there at the end of that first half. 1st and 10 for us as we go to Chuba Hubbard this time. Try to split the defenders, not quite so much, just a gain of 2. Well, maybe we look for a little bit of a change of pace following that. We're going to bring Barry out here. Winters to help lead the way, as he will do just so, just squeezing through and picking up the first down. I will say Delpit has probably been their best defender today. I mean, obviously he has the pick, but he's swatted a lot of passes and he's made a whole lot of tackles today. So we'll just keep targeting him. He can't keep making those plays. Get it out to Boston, and it's just underthrown, and you guessed it, it's Delpit knocking it away. So clearly he heard our challenge and is rising to the occasion. 2nd and 10 now at the 43. We go back down the middle. Barry trying to cut it to the outside now. A solid gain of 9. And we'll bring out Chuba here for the 3rd and about half a yard. They have a safety or extra linebacker to that left-hand side. Somehow they knew what play call we were going with. Read option. Let's check out of it. Just go with a typical run here. Get Chuba Hubbard's speed to the outside, which we will easily, getting us down to the 25. Now as we have a first down here, we got Delpit deep in the box here. He's over on the right-hand side. So let's see if we could get Bateman more so deeper down the field to the left-hand side. Just get away from Delpit as he has the step, put it up higher. Great play there from their number 1. I want to say that is Akuda, though don't quote me on it. 2nd and 10. We're going to go back to that read option. Great block there. Let's get Young speed to the outside. Bateman down the field with a block, but we can't speed by the linebacker. Still a heck of a gain, though, from Young. Gets us down inside the 10. But gone are the days of the slow linebackers. I mean, we have a 91 speed linebacker ourselves. 1st and goal here. We're going to go to Chuba. Try to find the lane. Hitch he will. Down to the 2. But on 2nd and goal, let's try to go with something a little different here. We got a pass set up, and I'm going to send Bateman on the slant because we might just swing it out straight to Chuba Hubbard, which we won't have time. 54 who made the stop on the read option, he gets the sack. And that's really just the problems that you have sometimes when you try to throw down at the line here. Now, we got some slants all dialed up on this left-hand side, except for one, and that's going to be Faust, who I'm going to actually send on a zig. Try to get him underneath those slant routes. Should open up for him, which it will, but great stop. It is Okuda at 2-yard line, 4th and goal. And we're going to keep the offense out there. 24 seconds left here in the third quarter and counting. They got Holcomb sitting in the gap. We're going to attack it either way as Barry does not get in. They mark him inches shy. Well, defense, you know what you got to do here then. Let's go pick up a safety as we know they're going to Bijan. It is Grover Stewart with another play in the backfield. We'll pick up 2. It's not the 7, but we're going to get the ball right back. And in a way, you could try to say that that was exactly how we had planned it to go. Offense, we're back out, starting now deep in, or let's say deep, in our own territory, so much deeper than we were. Chuba Hubbard, though, finds a lane, and he gets shucked back by Okuda. Strong way there to end that third quarter, though. We head into the fourth, now with a 5-point lead, looking to add on to it. Though we've just got to make sure we play a smarter game here in the fourth. Only 19 points to this point. I would prefer a good bit more, especially with the talent we have. See if we can get Faust downfield as no, it's Bates. Jumps it. That should have been an easy completion for us. Had to throw it earlier, and that is not the smart play we were needing. So very quickly, Madden heard what I was saying and immediately jinxed us. So that is fun. 2nd and 10, trying to get back to the outside. Hartwell sitting there, slowing down Bijan. It's going to get cleaned up by Hodgins. You got both sides here fighting, making the plays, keeping this game close. Bunch to the left-hand side now for the Falcons as they go with some play action. Try to get some guys downfield as they look to take the shot downfield. Newsome goes up for it and comes down with it. 2 picks to end the last 2 drives. Honestly, kind of just felt like Ritter was forcing the big play. As we come back out here on offense, they've got the safety walk down here. Let's see if we could come up with a different plan then. See if they actually do send the blitz that side, which they don't. See what we can do. Got to scramble out to the outside here and just get rid of it. We had an option coming across, but just wasn't a clean enough throw. So 2nd and 10 here. We got an RPO dialed up, hand it off, or get it to the outside, which it nearly made it into Bateman's hands off the helmet of the defender, instead leaving us with a 3rd and 10. 3 to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. See if we can get Boston split the safeties, very much so. Put it on him. A little bit of a back juke. Actually splits the 2 safeties, though not enough quickness to get away from the incoming linebacker. But it's a great play dialed up there, keeping our drive going. Now let's make sure we don't waste it. Boston in motion here, 1st and 10. Defensive line shifts as we look for a run to that right-hand side. Choosing the gap, Hubbard takes another pop, gain of 5. And with about 6 minutes left here in the fourth, we could definitely take our time. Look for a little bit of some play action here. Get it over the top of the linebacker, up for Thomas. That, again, not the safe choice. Should have probably checked that one down to Chuba. Young just seems to be staring down specific targets. Leaving us here with a 3rd and 5, another double A-gap look from the Falcons defense. They do not bring the blitz, but they got us moving here. On the move, we got Chenault. Try to pick up a block, slip underneath it. No, again, 54 Williams. He's been flowing today. And both teams have actually had pretty good pursuits as we got ourselves a 1st and 10 now down to the 24. Tight single back set. Going back to Chuba, trying to find some space. He bounces to the outside. It's going to be a 2-on-1. He tried to go with the hurdle. He ends up getting dumped down at the 3. You know, sometimes your athletic guys they got to try the athletic play. We go spread here on the gold line. Young will hand it off. Chuba met by Holcomb. And arguably, I would say Chuba has been more impactful than Robinson on the day despite having less yards. But we're going to bring out Barry here as we go the toss to the outside. Get the block from Winter, sprint away from 1, and maybe pick up a couple inches. But that still leaves us with a 3rd and goal. And how about we try to get a tutty here for an unsung hero of the team. Winters at fullback. He pushes and we're shy by, again, about half a yard. And while part of me would love to go for it here, the smart choice up 5 is to take the field goal, make this an 8-point game late on. Ford will do just that. But time is now running thin here for the Falcons. 2:47 remains as they start at the 25. Needing that touchdown and the 2-point. It's out for Pitts, and it looked like he fumbled it there at the end, but very clearly out of bounds. So it will end up being a good gain for them. Crossing midfield, they are up now to the 47. Still looking to throw. Man on man across the board. They find Davis that time. Now I think we need to get in the face of Ritter. So let's bring a little bit of a blitz here on 1st and 10. They got a bunch to the right-hand side. We got the double A gap. They block it all up, and Pitts is left alone. It's Shepard dragging him down, but in the end zone. Now it all comes down to that 2-point try. The Falcons, they put together their best drive today when they needed it the most. Now where do they go here? Looking for a throw. It's out for Davis, and that drive was ran to perfection. It really makes you wonder where that has been all game long. But we are leveled up here, 22-22 as we start back at our 25. 2 minutes, 7 seconds left. We got a bunch to the right-hand side, one to the left. Looking for Chuba Hubbard on that halfback screen. Pick up some blocks. Chuba not going to get by Bates once again, but first down, 2-minute warning hits. And considering, again, the leg we have at kicker, we don't have to rush things too much here. We got all of our timeouts. Let's take our time, play smart. We go back to Chuba. He shakes first, not getting by the second, but a gain of 6. And with that, he'll actually end up joining Bijan Robinson, going over 100 on the day. 2nd and 4, though, we bring out Barry. Look for some space, and if he hit the left side a little bit quicker there, he definitely would have had it. But instead, we have a 3rd and 2, now well under a minute, about 40 seconds and counting. As we will hand this one off Chuba down the middle. That is going to be about field goal range. As Ford is warming up, he says he needs the 47. So let's run one quick play here to set us up right down the middle. We're already at the 44. We got Barry right down the middle, bouncing around, and the ball popped free. Someone jump on it, though there's no time. Are you kidding me? It's going into overtime. Barry, his first career fumble, comes at the worst time, and Winters was staring at it as it was on the ground. We recovered it, but it was too late, and now the Falcons have won the toss. A chance to walk it off here. Well, if this isn't what rivalry games are all about. Falcons start at the 25. They look for the RPO to the outside. Davis picked up, slammed down by Edwards. And overall, a pretty good game for Edwards in this one. Just gave up a couple catches to Pitts, though one of them was a big one on their final offensive drive. As they get the throw to the tight end on the out route, 3rd and 2. And it looks like they are setting up for a throw. Got a bunch to the left, 2 to the right. It's an empty set for Ritter. Quick rush, and Hartwell picks up the sack. They did not have enough blockers, and they did not dial up a good enough play. So once again, our offense heading out with that chance. Again, just need the field goal to win this one. We start with a bunch to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. Just some simple plays as we get this one out to Boston, who will scramble forward and pick up the first down. And with that, we're already sitting at the 47, which was the range we needed. Got an RPO dialed up here. Barry out there, and we'll hand it off to him down the middle. He holds on to it that time. Honestly, can't even believe that he fumbled at the end of regulation. Should have been an easy walk-away win there for us. As Young scrambling here, it's going to end up being a sack. That'll leave us with a 3rd and 8 now. Got trips to the left-hand side, Boston to the right. Just a simple play. We got Faust across the middle. That's going to be a first down catch. We obviously haven't gotten to find him too much today, but he's made some decent plays here and there. As we're approaching the 2-minute warning here, got a little bit of some play action roll. What do we got? How about we just turn this up, pick up some blocks, and get bumped out of bounds at the 16. Now, obviously, all we need is the field goal, but in the rivalry, I mean, why not try to find a touchdown as well? Safely at that. As we go to Barry here, he'll pick up 4. And as we head out here for 2nd and 6, they've got no one down the middle here. So let's just change Bateman's route for the slant. If he could cross the face, it should have opened up. Instead, it's Young, and Young will get into the end zone and walk this game off. It took a good few more minutes than it should have, but we defeat the Falcons, climbing back from last place in the NFC South all the way to take first. And while there were plenty of mistakes in that game, it was still one heck of a battle. We left some things on the field, especially in the red zone. Defense made some big plays. We kept a lot of their play to a minimum. Gave up some big ones, but in between those big, not much happened. And again, we walk away with the biggest win of our season. And boy, doesn't that look good. 8-4 now, sitting atop of the NFC South. Now, just in total of how the rest of the NFC is looking right now, it's a pretty tight top of the table here. The Vikings are 9-3, as well as the Cowboys, who we beat earlier this year. The Eagles 8-4, as well as us and the Falcons. Then you have the 49ers at 7-5. So it's a pretty tight group here. A swing of 2 weeks could really change up the top of this one. Though, as a Vikings fan, I'm rather happy to see that they're actually doing well in a Madden franchise. But looking forward to our next few games. Well, we have the Steelers up next. They haven't had a great year. They're 5-7. They still have a pretty solid defense. I mean, they're 89 rated there. Obviously, TJ Watt, we're going to have to make sure that we deal with that defense. 9th in points per game, 9th in rushing yards, and 11th in passing yards. It's their offense that's definitely holding them back. Below average just across the board. But we also have ourselves a breakout DB for this next game. Now, I definitely don't think it's St. Just. Don't think it's Cash. Newsome had the pick in this game. But Tyler Edwards was also making a lot of plays as well, getting involved in a lot of tackles, not necessarily swatting a lot of passes or obviously getting interceptions. So I'm curious to see what this breakout DB is going to be. My money's on Newsome, but I would love for it to be for Tyler Edwards. So we'll see that at the beginning of next episode. But as we round out this one, I'm curious on your guys' thoughts of how we handled Bijan Robinson today. Obviously, he went over 100 yards rushing the ball, and he also got involved receiving as well, an extra 21 yards on top of that with 4 catches. But I think, my standpoint is I think we had a really good game against him. On his 8 carries, outside of the 2 big ones that he had, those 8 carries, I think, was maybe around 25 or so yards. So I think we did really well against Robinson, got beat on a couple stretches to the outside. On top of that, receiving wise, I think we again had a pretty good game against Pitts. He racked up a few big plays. He had one that I think was 4. He obviously had his long of 35, and then the other one, do the math to find that one. But all in all, I think we did a really good job, and that was Tyler Edwards primarily lined up on him. And in division, they're definitely our biggest rivals right now. They're the most well-built team, and I think we found the game plan for the future. We faced them, I want to say, in week 18 to wrap out this season. So that could be a big one if we continue to have a close record. So do not miss. Make sure you hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down and hit the sub button. They both do the exact same thing. Subscribe to the channel. You can also hit the bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live so you do not miss them. This series every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Plus, we have the state-only challenge, currently Kentucky and Indiana. That one is every single Wednesday and Saturday. Next episode, which will be on Wednesday, we have the first off season, and I'm probably going to do about half of the regular season with that. And then the next episode on Saturday, we'll finish off season 2, and we'll see if that team has made enough changes to fill out the starting group and push us to the playoffs. So don't miss out. We got a lot happening, and we will see you next time as we go on the road to face the Steelers.